I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat. You know, I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 billion to combat Asian carp.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out. I liked beer. I liked beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out. Still like beer. Still like beer. I still like beer. I still like beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
Get your words straight, Jack.
Across this country on lately, we've seen this new phenomenon lately. We've seen this new phenomenon. Across this country, chanted at sporting events and on signs. The phrase is "Let's go, Brandon."
I've got to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Okay, number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. Number one. Number two. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. One. Two. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say. I mean what I say when I say it. I say when I say when I say it. I say it. I say it. Say when I say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. I mean what I say when I say it.
Across this country, we've seen this new phenomenon lately, chanted at sporting events and on signs. The phrase is "Let's go, Brandon." Let's go, Brandon. Across this country, sporting a phrase "Let's go, Brandon." Let's go, Brandon. A sort of code for a profane slogan.
Get your words straight, Jack.
And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you'd like to see, help out. If not, vote the other Biden.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, Shame on you. It fooled me. We can't get fooled again.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got a lot of hot. I get hot, and I got hairy legs. I got hairy legs. Blonde in the sun. Blonde in the sun. Reach in the pool. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool. The kids used to come up and reach in the pool. The kids used to come up and reach in the pool. The kids used to come up and reach in the pool. The kids used to come up. The kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down. Hairy leg. I got hairy leg. Kids used to come up and reach in the pool. Get hot. I got hairy leg. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. I got hairy legs, blonde in the sun. Leg down, my leg down, and rub my leg down in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down. I got hairy leg, I got blonde in the sun. Kids used to come up and reach in the pool, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool, and the kids used to come up and reach in the pool, and the kids used to come up. Learned about kids jumping on my lap. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. They look at it. So I look at it. So I learned about roaches. They look at it. And it get hot. I got hairy legs.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. The American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. The American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. The American people hold the President of the United States in contempt.
Hello, users, and welcome to another installation of Above It Goddamn. This is Above It All, folks. This is the show. You've been waiting here for approximately 13 minutes or so, give or take. 5-9, give or take. And, we got a show. I got a show. I don't know about we. This is a solo project. Max the dog usually helps, in the morning, but he has decided to take a nap. Is that right, Maxie? Max! Max the dog, folks. Look at him, he's so beautiful. Look at him. Oh, he's up. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh. Help me. Max! Max! He's a Christmas doggy. Oh. Okay. Alright, so we gotta Max the dog here. God damn. Wow. Alright, so got a dog. You ever just wonder where I would be in my life if I didn't have this dog? Go back and watch Above It All from last year, and there's no dog there. It's not even the same show. What, you gonna go watch Above It All and there's no dog? The fuck? But you could do that. You could go watch. Max, are you thirsty? I just gave you water. What do I do? What do I do? So you could, yeah, you could go back in time and watch Above It All from last year, and there's no dog. This beautiful creature would be chained up outside somewhere in the rain at that time, and that's just incredible to think about. And now he's right here. Now he's a Christmas doggy. Now, 1 year later, he's a goddamn Christmas doggy. Oh, hello there. Uppy, 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 uppy. He is not an uppy puppy. But anyway, folks, so I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm a little drunk right now. So that's the kind of show you're in for. I'm gonna try my best to cover some news. But I am also like a little drunk. So just throwing that out there. You know, it's a retweet. You know, it's an opinion of somebody. Speaking of retweeting, I'm gonna need y'all to retweet the stream. I'm gonna need y'all to retweet this stream on Twitter. Gonna need you to retweet the stream on Twitter. Hello, Matt. I currently am drinking Covfefe with some bullshit cream liqueur that was marketed as having tequila in it, but it doesn't. I don't know about that, so I'm not sure about that. But what I am sure about is there is Max the dog here. Look at him licking the air. He knows that he is the most comfortable dog in the history of dogs. There is even if y'all have a dog, guess what? Is your dog on Above It All? I don't think so. So, Max has the win here. Woo! A banger of an intro. Did you like it? You're gonna bang that intro on a rain barrel? Make them rusty? So yeah, folks, I'm a little drunk. And now I'm a little high. So I'm doing a little what's it called? It's a little something. Can someone what is this?
In my opinion, it's never too late. So, little double.
So, yeah, a little double, little double, Is my house on fire? Yes. Yes it is, actually. I'm gonna have to take care of that at some point. But I will do that after the show. But anyway, so there you go. That's the show. Hopefully everyone enjoyed watching the show. I enjoyed watching the show. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and watch the show right now because it's over. So thank you all for showing up, and goodbye. Psych. I trolled you motherfuckers again. Every single time I do that, you fucking stupid little pricks always fall for it. Every time. Every single time I do the fake outro, y'all motherfuckers are like, oh, is the show over? Oh. You open up another tab, right? You open up another tab and you're like, all right, let me go listen to the introductory music while I go look for something else to watch. And then, here it comes, The psych. So you psyched yourself fucking out of it. Into it, actually. You psyched yourself into it, because we're back. And so that's good. So you psyched yourself into it. You're, as the kids say, in it to win it. I don't know why the kids say that, but they do say that. The kids, I know a couple kids. I've got a few kids in my life that I speak to sometimes, and that's what they're saying. Because, that's all I know. But anyway, yesterday was day 244 of protests, daily consecutive protests in the city of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and the county of Pasquotank County, North Carolina, over the police shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. that took place on April 21st. I took a couple of days off of the protests when I had my booster shot. But they've been still going strong, so it's still a continuous daily protest, which is good. And so 244 days, that's a long time, folks. We're almost getting to the 1 year mark, which is pretty incredible. And again, just to rehash and refresh people on the scenes here, what's going on in Elizabeth City and Pasquotank County? For those of you that don't know, the Pasquotank County Sheriff deputies tried to serve a warrant. The warrant was actually not signed by a judge. Whoops. We sent them to warrant, just assumed they would sign it, and then we killed someone. Yikes. But guess what? It's cool, because they got paid vacation, and they got extra overtime, and they got a salary bump. So it's all good. Everything is fine. Andrew Brown Jr. was shot in the back of the head. When they were trying to serve this warrant, an arrest warrant, a search warrant, I don't know. They said it was both. There's no signed warrants. When they tried to serve this warrant, they ended up shooting into a neighbor's kitchen. No charges will be brought against these officers because the district attorney, Andrew Womble, said at a press conference a few weeks later that they couldn't let him get away. That's weird. That's strange. Why couldn't they let him get away? If it's a search warrant, do you really need them to be on the premises to serve a search warrant? If you couldn't let him get away, that sounds like it was an arrest warrant. But again, there was no signed arrest warrant. And so immediately after firing the lethal execution shots, Deputy Daniel Meads, one of the three shooters, along with Robert Morgan and Aaron Llewellyn, Deputy Daniel Meads immediately modified his gun's magazine to cover up the amount of bullets he used, and then lied to investigators about the amount of times he fired, and then also with tampering with his magazine. This was actually caught on another sheriff deputy's body camera, but he is so stupid he did not realize that someone else was recording. So again, he lied to investigators the day of! Now, again, if this shooting was justified, you had to kill the evil drug dealer, right, as they keep telling us. Andrew Brown Jr. dealt drugs, death sentence, right? Because that's in the Constitution, apparently. They had to. They couldn't let him get away, right? But it was justified, right? It was a justified shooting. So why would you hide the amount of shots you fired? It seems a little weird to me. But again, it's all good because immediately afterward, they all got paid vacation. Yeah, that's right. They got 2 months of paid vacation. So in the middle of a labor shortage, right, an economic depression, a jobs crisis in this country, right, people cannot pay their rent and utility bills on time, it's all good. Your tax dollars, instead of going to that, or instead of going to lower your utility prices, clean the water, maybe fix the potholes, it's all good because your tax dollars are being sent so that Robert Morgan, Daniel Meads, and Aaron Llewellyn can sit at home and chill and watch Netflix on the taxpayer's dime after murdering someone in cold blood. So it's all good, folks. Everything's fine. But wait, it gets even better. Because as soon as they got back to work, the Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners decided, we're going to give the whole sheriff's department a raise. That's right, every sheriff's deputy, not just the ones who executed Andrew Brown Jr. and murdered him on April 21st. Every sheriff's deputy got a raise. Got a salary increase. That's literally, you are paying someone to murder someone at that point. They murder someone, then you give them the money. It's legalized like assassination. It's legalized like hitman activity, right? These are mobsters. These are gangsters. It's just that they control the government. But it's all good. I keep forgetting the fact that it's all good. Everything was smoothed over, right? Because then, after that, They wasted another $69,000 the Pasquotank County taxpayers US dollars on bringing in an outside organization called Police to Peace, right? And they're going to sit down and have a real good talking to these sheriff deputies, convince them to be peace officers, gosh darn it. And then they're going to get new uniforms and they're going to change their names to peace officers. But, that's what's going on in Elizabeth City over the last 244 days. Nothing but bullshit. And folks have been still out protesting every single day. All throughout the summer, all throughout tropical storms. We had tropical storms all throughout, super cold, super hot. People have been out every single day saying that's fucked up. Because it is fucked up. Do I live with my grandparents? No, I do not. All right. All right, so that's the important part of the show done. So now the rest is just bonus material. Let's see how much I can get through this. God damn. All right, so let's keep going. All right, folks, so here we have a very interesting sequence of events. So yesterday, or the day before, I forget, I don't know what time is. Yesterday, the day before, something happened. And Joe Manchin went on Fox News to basically kill the president's agenda. The entire Build Back Better spending bill, which was already significantly shredded into bits. The original bill was going to be $6 trillion, then it was going to be $3.5 trillion, then it was going to be $2 trillion, then it was going to be $1.75 trillion over 10 years. Again, this is over 10 years. Meanwhile, they just passed an obscene $7 trillion military budget over 10 years, but that's whatever. So now it's just not going to happen at all because Joe Manchin is a little crybaby loser. And then immediately after he gave that interview on Fox News, he went on West Virginia radio to clarify that there was no way he was going to vote for it at all, and that he was just stringing the Democrats along for fun. It was a game to him. And so now we're getting some more information, because now, apparently, the Democratic Party wants us to believe that Joe Biden is actually upset by this. They want us to believe that Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are upset. Has Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer made any statement? I don't know. I haven't looked, actually. But I haven't seen it. You'd think I would see it. The Senate Majority Leader, the House Speaker, you'd think I would see it. But I'm on Twitter all day, every day. The only things I follow on Twitter are like politics and like fucking video games, right? So you'd think I would see Nancy Pelosi or Chuck Schumer making a statement, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'll look it up in the middle of the show. But so now Joe Manchin there's some leaks going on, and so this is pretty good. So Joe Manchin privately told colleagues parents use child tax credit money on drugs, is what came out. So after months of haggling with Joe Biden, and other Democrats, President Joe Manchin dashed his party's hopes on Sunday by announcing he wouldn't vote for the Build Back Better legislation. Publicly, his biggest gripes about the cost of the bill. That's not true. He said in the Fox interview, actually, it's not about the cost, it's about the provisions. He doesn't like the child tax credit because the parents use it on drugs. It's not about the cost, but okay. But privately, Manchin has told his colleagues that he essentially doesn't trust low-income people to spend government money wisely. In recent months, Manchin has told several of his fellow Democrats that he thought parents would waste monthly child tax credit payments on drugs instead of providing for their children, according to two sources familiar with the senator's comments. All right. Now, are there parents who spend the child tax credit money on drugs? Yes. Duh, of course. That will always happen. Right now, again, it's all about percentages. Right? If it's happening like maybe 1 to 2% of the time, Is that really worth destroying the lives of the other 98%? Because it would be foolish to say that no low-income people in the history of the world would ever spend money on drugs. That's a foolish thing to say. That, again, in order for that to destroy the whole child tax credit, right, you'd have to at least say maybe it's going to be 51% of the time. Like 51% of recipients are going to be spending it on drugs. And even then, does that really necessitate the need to destroy the lives of the other 49% who just needed to get by? Right? So again, the idea, right, that, oh, parents spend it on drugs. Yeah, people spend money on drugs. People spend money they don't have on drugs. Because the United States of America is such a shit-fuck country that people in this country feel like they need drugs to just make it to the next day. Now again, what would you, if you want to stop parents from spending money on drugs, maybe you would end the drug war and promote rehabilitative services, no cost, for free. You get free rehabilitation for your drug addictions. And then also you don't have to worry about going to jail, right? Maybe that would stop parents from using government money on drugs, but he doesn't actually give a shit about the drug problem. He doesn't actually give a shit about the opioid crisis that has just destroyed West Virginia. He doesn't give a fuck. It's any excuse that he heard somewhere. This is like right-wing Facebook. You know, it's like, you know, you have a right-wing family member who uses Facebook all day, and they always start their like political opinions with "I heard" and "I saw," right? And someone told me, right, the famous Trump phrase, many people are saying. That's basically what Joe Manchin is using here. He heard one person somewhere say one thing, and then boom, that's the excuse he needed. He's all good to go. Let's keep reading. Continuing the child tax credit for another year is a core part of the Build Back Better legislation the Democrats had hoped to pass by the end of the year. The policy has already cut child poverty by nearly 30%. Manchin's private comments shocked several senators, who saw it as an unfair assault on his own constituents and those struggling to raise children in poverty. Manchin has also told colleagues he believes the Americans would fraudulently use the proposed paid sick leave policy, specifically saying people would feign being sick and go on hunting trips, a source familiar with the comments told HuffPost. Okay. And what if? Maybe it shouldn't be called paid sick leave and just paid leave. Maybe people should be allowed to take a week off and go on a hunting trip. And do you know how many days of the year the Senate is actually working? Because I guarantee you the average minimum wage worker is working a higher percentage than those in the Senate on a daily basis. So Joe Manchin, the Senate's about to go out for the holidays. Joe Manchin's about to go chill on his yacht for a couple weeks. He doesn't look sick to me. Manchin's office declined to comment for this story. In a statement on Sunday, he said he opposed the Build Back Better agenda largely because of the cost, blah, blah, blah. This is just recapping. Again, this guy is a corrupt coal baron. He gets all of his personal money from fossil fuels and coal. He is a big coal investor. He has his wealth tied to the coal industry. That is why he doesn't want this spending bill, because of climate provisions. He also just doesn't give a fuck about poor people. He's never been poor. He's always been rich, and he's always taken advantage of people. He's a classic corrupt politician. West Virginia is one of the poorest states in the country. Joe Manchin is someone who has been in the Senate. He has been governor of West Virginia. He's been in West Virginia politics for the entirety of the 21st century, and yet West Virginia is still in the back of the bus, so to speak. Why is that? His net worth has multiplied significantly over the course of his public service, and yet the net worths of people that live in West Virginia has decreased significantly since he's been in politics. Can someone answer those questions for me? And also, again, the idea that no one saw this coming, if some stupid-ass bitch in her bedroom, that's me, I'm the stupid-ass bitch, saw this coming, and you're telling me the President of the United States, Joe Biden, didn't see it coming? You're telling me Vice President Kamala Harris, she didn't see this coming? Congressional Progressive Caucus leader and chair, Pramila Jayapal, just took Joe Manchin at his word? House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, when sending this bill over to the Senate, she just bought it. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was just like, yeah, sure. You know, I kept that letter secret for about 3 months, but you know, I can totally, yeah. Have they made a statement? I don't know. Anyone, and I mean anyone, who thought Joe Manchin would land on the right side of this is a fool and a moron and a loser. And that's just how it is. Now, again, I hope that the public pressure going now after Joe Manchin considerably right now, I hope it's enough to switch him back. But let's be honest. The bill that should be signed into law by the Senate and the President and the House should be the $3.5 trillion one. Because the entire reason it was negotiated down to what it is now was because of Joe Manchin claiming to be acting in good faith. I say, send it back to the House, $3.5 trillion, then send it to the Senate, and then have Joe Manchin vote against it. Why should we be voting on the bill that Joe Manchin negotiated for if he's just going to publicly destroy the president's agenda? Fuck you, bitch. Let's go back to $3.5 trillion. The House already said that they were fine with that, right? It's not like it should be hard to go back in time where Nancy Pelosi said, oh yeah, $3.5 trillion is great, let's vote on it. Right? They can vote on that, right? It's not going to happen, though. I guarantee you that's not going to happen. I guarantee you this bill, if it passes, is going to get watered down even more to the point where it's nothing but a virtue signaling piece of garbage. And then, let's assume, all right, he says yes, let's vote on it. Then Kyrsten Sinema will vote down. There's always going to be someone in the Democratic Party. And now, again, I want to be very clear at the end of all of these videos. I am not endorsing Republicans. All the Republicans are voting against it. Fuck Republicans, okay? I know that there's people sometimes say, oh, I hate the Democrats, I'm going to vote Republican. No, motherfucker, you're an idiot. If you hate the Democrats, go out and protest. Go out and organize. Go out and primary these motherfuckers. The 2022 midterms are coming up. If you've got a Senate race, you know, going on, try to, do some canvassing or do some phone banking for the most left-wing senatorial candidate in your state. Do that kind of stuff. Because, again, at the end of the day, the Democrats are only as good as their most far-right neo-Nazi adjacent member. And right now, that's Joe Manchin. And again, if their furthest to the right member was Cory Booker, we'd be in a lot better place. We'd have a lot better things. Now, again, I do feel like things would be still moving slowly. But again, Republicans are garbage. They literally want to commit genocide on certain populations. They are crazy motherfuckers. They don't believe in washing their hands. They don't believe in germs. They don't believe in fucking science. These motherfuckers are crazy. So I would rather have the incompetent drunk uncle than the fucking guy who's just, running around with machine guns shooting up a mall. I'm sorry. That's what I would rather have. But again, Joe Manchin is the bad guy. But also, everyone who believed him is a dumb guy. And in this instance, guy is gender neutral. But there you go. Fuck Joe Manchin. I got super chats, okay? Andrew Kohler, $5 in the super chat. As flies to wonton boys are we to the Joe Manchins. They kill us for their sport. Shakespeare, King Lear. It's interesting that Shakespeare was talking about Joe Manchin. Must be a very common name. Thank you, Andrew Kohler. Environmental Coffee House, $4.99. Now again, the previous super chat was $5 even. Environmental Coffee House, $4.99. That's pretty interesting. I love your commentary. Flower emoji, other flower emoji, sun emoji, globe emoji. That's incredible. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Sandy, for the super chat. I appreciate that. But let's see this. So, there are a couple people, and by a couple I mean 6, that knew that Joe Manchin was a piece of shit. One of them was Jamal Bowman. Now, again, there were 6 members of the Democratic Party that voted against the bipartisan infrastructure deal. Oh, and that came to the House because the original plan was to have that voted on and through the Senate with the social spending bill because according to Joe Manchin, he wanted the bipartisan infrastructure bill to pass, right? Now, I'm not convinced. He might have just voted down both of them. But again, the Democratic Party got played, the Progressive Caucus got played, but the squad did not get played. And so Jamal Bowman, one of those people, along with Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, Cori Bush, AOC, and I think that's them. Jamal Bowman has something to say about Joe Manchin, saying he thinks that low-income parents are going to spend their child tax credits on drugs. Now, again, I will tell you, I know for a fact that that happens. There is no way to deny that any parent ever has spent their kids' money on drugs. That's just the society that we live in. But again, that means you're going to demonize and destroy the financial lives of the other 99% of parents that are struggling just to get by? Because of a couple bad people that are in a bad place? No, I'm sorry. That's fucking bullshit. But anyway, Jamal Bowman posted this video of him going on MSNBC to discuss.
I don't know. I want to bring in Congressman Jamal Bowman, Democrat from New York and a member of the Progressive Caucus. Congressman, thanks for being back on the show. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
I don't even know where to start at the moment because there is so much news today. But let me begin, I think, at the beginning with your reaction to Joe Manchin being a no on Build Back Better. I know you said a couple of months ago you were pretty, you use your word, you were pretty pissed at Senator Manchin when some of these concessions were being made. Now there's some reporting from NBC News that part of the reason that Senator Manchin is concerned is because he worried some parents could use the child tax credit payments to buy drugs or use paid time leave.
Now, isn't it incredible, by the way, that MSNBC hosts are just saying, yeah, that's what he said. Not, like, if I had Jamal Bowman on my show, I'd be like, can you believe what this fucking asshole just said? He said that all parents are going to spend their money on drugs instead of their kids. Can you fucking believe that shit? How do you feel about that, Jamal Bowman, knowing that you, along with 5 other Democrats, saw that bullshitter fucking for what he is and voted against his little stupid plan? How do you feel about that? But instead, the MSNBC person is just like, oh, yeah, that's his concern. He's concerned.
Paid leave time, rather, to go hunting, according to sources familiar with those comments. So what is your message, given all this, to Senator Manchin?
Well, first of all, it was infuriating to hear the senator pretty much try to kill the Build Back Better Act yesterday, piggybacking on me being pissed many months ago when it was continuously being gutted. And when I hear that he doesn't trust our parents to do right by their own children with the child tax credit payments, it takes me back to the Ronald Reagan days and when people used to use language like welfare queens to describe what's happening with single parents.
On that subject, Joe Manchin has before said that he doesn't want to do any social spending bills because he thinks it's going to create an entitlement society. So he has literally used like almost identical language. At least identical in meaning?
In our communities. You know, it seems to be a disconnect between what Manchin thinks is happening on the ground with real people and what's actually happening in their lives and how people are yearning to get back to work, but they don't have childcare. He seems to not understand that the child tax credit lifted 50% of children out of poverty and helped the economy to move forward. And it's important for us to continue that at least for a year, but I would love to see it put in place permanently. But as we know, Manchin is also against corporations paying their fair share and taxing the wealthy elite. It's also important to recognize that it seems that Manchin is more responsive, Manchin and people like him, because he's representative of something bigger. He's more responsive to his donors and to lobbyists than he.
So this is an important part of this. And this is like, now again, Joe Manchin is in the spotlight. He's enemy number 1. Do I think if Joe Manchin goes back? I think personally, Kirsten Sinema, I always forget what her name is. But I think she's more likely to then become the rotating villain. But again, it's very important to call this out because Joe Manchin is not a person. He's not a person. He is a drone. He is an artificial intelligence. He is a robot programmed by the owners of this country. The billionaires, the millionaires, the giant industries, the medical insurance industry, the pharmaceutical industry, big tech, all this fucking stupid garbage that you hear all the time. Those groups control politicians like Joe Manchin so thoroughly and so absolutely that, again, if you were to do scientific experiments on Joe Manchin's physiology, I would bet you money that there would be no sign of intelligent life. If you look and do these same experiments on a rock in the ground, right, you will find very similar, again, capacities of intelligent life. They are drones, they are robots, they are artificial intelligences programmed. Now, again, I'm not trying to say this as in a literal sense. I'm using this as hyperbolic metaphor. But again, because I don't want to be misinterpreted. But again, these what I'm saying is they're not honest actors. They're not good faith actors, right? They are always going to lie. They will lie. They're horrible, horrible people, if you can even call them people. So again, and it's important to understand what the relationship is between these big money institutions and these politicians. It is absolute. It is not, oh yeah, they're just leaning in that direction. They're 100% corrupted and beholden to these institutions and special interests. There is no other way around it. They are not like rational actors. They are not honest actors. They are the puppets of these giant institutions.
Is to the people of West Virginia. I mean, West Virginia has the 7th highest child poverty rate in the country and one of the highest poverty rates overall. And we have to look in the mirror and decide what kind of country we want to be and what does Building Back Better really look like. And we cannot have a member of our own party killing a major part of the president's agenda.
So here's something I would say, just to tack this on for liberals. Everyone in the Democratic Party should start saying that Joe Manchin should leave the party. Because Joe Manchin, a couple months ago, it was reported that Joe Manchin had privately threatened to leave the Democratic Party and become an American independent. Okay. I say House and Senate and President, right, the leadership should all say, all right, Joe Manchin, get the fuck out of our party, and they should censure him. They should do all the stops. Bully this motherfucker, go on television, say this fucking asshole's daughter price gouged people to the point where they died because they couldn't get access to EpiPens. Do the whole fucking thing. But they're not going to do that because they don't really care. But let's keep going.
And that's why it might be on the deathbed, but we're going to make sure we're going to resurrect it to make sure it passes at some point.
I should note that Senator Manchin's spokesperson told our team that he's made clear he supports the child tax credit, believes the money should be targeted to those who need it most, and has also expressed support for a paid leave program that has a dedicated, sustainable funding mechanism. You say you believe that
those are words that don't mean anything. He's not voting for the bill. If he said that he thinks the parents are going to spend the money on drugs, right? But then he voted for the bill anyway and said that he's just kind of concerned about it, but he's not going to do anything about it. That's one thing. It's still a little silly, but at least, it's not impeding the fact that 98.973% of parents are not going to do that, right? But he's voting against the bill. He's not going to vote, or he doesn't even want to vote, right? So it's like, it doesn't matter if he said that, you can't just say, oh, well, no, I overall support it. Obviously you don't. Obviously you do not support it overall. Oh yeah, I think some people might abuse paid sick leave, but overall I'm in favor. Obviously not. You are in favor. You are not voting for the fucking legislation. But again, MSNBC host is just going to say, yeah, this is what he said. That's just what he said. As if it's like, oh, yeah, that's the statement. It's obviously nonsensical. It makes no sense at all. It's a bunch of bullshit, but it's the statement. And this is why most Americans are fucking stupid. Because most Americans watch this shit and they go like, oh, well, Joe Manchin, that's, those are concerns, but overall he's supportive. But he's not.
This can be resurrected. You heard the White House say repeatedly, as we just heard from Jen Psaki, that President Biden is going to, in their words, work like hell to try to get it done. Given everything that the progressives specifically have been through over the last couple of months, taking the president's word that this deal was nailed, et cetera, Do you trust the president when he says he's going to work like hell to finish this?
Say no?
I trust the president. I don't know about trusting Manchin.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. If Joe Biden says he's going to get it done, like, what's the next plan? Susan Collins? Lisa Murkowski? That's what motherfuckers are saying on Twitter and shit. They're like, all right, what kind of Republicans can we fucking pick off here? If you cannot get the votes, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So I would say, fuck the president. I would say, I'm acting on my own accord. Did you know there's all these corruption scandals revolving Joe Manchin? That's what I would say. But I mean, you know, I'm not in that position. So I'm sure Jamal Bowman's threading a needle here. But let's listen to what he has to say.
There are other senators over there that we have to question in terms of where they stand, because Manchin is often out front and then other senators come behind.
So this is a good point, actually. This is a really good point. Is, again, let's say Joe Manchin changes his mind. And then Kyrsten Sinema, right? It's a rotating villain theory.
Like Senator Sinema, and also object to certain provisions. Hopefully that is not the case. I mean, this has been a year-long negotiation regarding Build Back Better. And this will be historic investments in dealing with the issue of climate change, in public housing, in reducing drug costs, particularly insulin drug costs, and making sure our seniors are taken care of. We're talking about the largest expansion of public education with universal pre-K since we built public high schools. This is how we rescue our democracy and create a healthy society, economy, and environment for our children and our grandchildren. So this has to get done. And I'm glad the White House came out with a strong statement. And I'm glad Senator Schumer said that he is going to bring Build Back Better to the forefront.
Okay, so I did not know that was news. So, okay, so apparently Chuck Schumer says he's going to bring it to a floor vote. That's actually good. I might actually talk about that. I'm going to read that statement. So that's news to me because, I'm just waking up here. But anyway, again, this is why it's good to have people like Jamal Bowman in Congress. And this is why I say, if you are a leftist, if you are someone that believes in this stuff, you should try as hard as you can to primary Democrats in every single capacity from the left. Always try to support the most left-wing challenger in a primary. They can win. Also, an important factor is to consolidate. Really, if you have 3 progressives running in a fucking primary and then 2 corporatists, the 2 corporatists are going to consolidate that easily. You need to consolidate. There should only be one progressive option, in my opinion. And again, you can have an early part of the primary to figure that out, right? That's fine. But again, consolidation is important. Strategy. You need and that's only if you want to participate in the electoral process. If you just want to say fuck all this shit, you know what would be another good way to spend your time? Union organizing, right? Mutual aid organizing, trying to help feed people. Again, there's going to be a lot of starving children in the next year, according to Joe Manchin, right? So, find ways to help in your immediate vicinity if you can. But again, it's important to have people that are further to the left than any U.S. politician pretty much ever talking on TV. Because again, there's going to be that section of people that go that are probably really mad. Maybe they love Joe Biden and now they hate Joe Manchin, right? Because he's destroying the president's agenda. And now they're hearing Jamal Bowman, someone they might not have had a great opinion of before, but he's sticking up for Biden and going after Manchin and saying all this other stuff. Again, it's moving that whole thing in a good direction. So that's my opinion. But anyway, fuck Joe Manchin. All my homies hate Joe Manchin. All right, let's see what Chuck Schumer has to say. I'm trying to find it. Okay, so I found a statement. All right, so this is from yesterday. So we got this very stern-looking, like, I'm a very serious guy, photograph of Chuck Schumer here. And so let's read. Schumer vows vote on Biden's $1.75 trillion bill despite Manchin's rejection. Now, again, I say fuck $1.75 trillion. Let's go to $3.5 trillion. The whole reason why it's $1.75 right now, you want to know the whole reason? Because the House was like 3.5, let's go. The president was 3.5, let's go. This, apparently, according to Chuck Schumer, 3.5, let's go. So put the 3.5 version on the floor. He's going to vote against it. The whole reason why it went, it was halved. The whole reason why it was cut in half, right? And not even in the cool triangle way, but like, you know, in the halfway that makes it biting each, like, you know, part like really weird, right? It was cut in half because of Joe Manchin's negotiations. Now he's saying fuck off. How about we say fuck off, put the 3.5 on? But that's not going to happen. But anyway, let's read. Washington, December 20th. The U.S. Senate will vote early next year on President Joe Biden's sweeping $1.75 trillion policy bill, as well as on voting rights. The chamber's top Democrats said on Monday, despite conservative Democratic Senator Joe Manchin's opposition, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer unveiled plans for both votes on Monday, the day after Manchin, who has stood as a roadblock, said he would not vote, blah, blah, blah. The Senate will, in fact, consider the Build Back Better Act very early in the new year. Now, again, the fact that it's not going to be this week is ridiculous. They're just hoping, I think, Joe Manchin especially, that people are going to stop caring in 2 to 3 weeks. That's their idea. They should vote on it right now. Vote on it today. This statement was yesterday. He should have said, we're going to vote on it tomorrow. But okay. Democrats need all of their members on board to pass legislation in the Senate. Biden and party leaders negotiated with Manchin for months to satisfy his concerns, but the West Virginia senator said on Monday that those talks were doomed to fail. So anyway, there you go. Like, we'll see, right? But again, it's gonna be what, 2-3 weeks from now? That's, you know, that's not quick enough. But we got a very yes, I'm Chuck Schumer, and I'm very upset right now. Look at this. Look at what he's doing with his eyeballs. Yes. What a fucking motherfucker. Schumer is so cringe. Yo, speaking of cringe, hold the phone. Y'all want to see some cringe? All right, so there was a TPUSA event, and Kyle Rittenhouse was a guest of honor, and I'm going to play some clips that were posted by Arizona Right-Wing Watch on Twitter in regards to Kyle Rittenhouse being the guest of honor on the TPUSA event. So I want to start this with the clip here of Lauren Boebert praising Kyle Rittenhouse. So I've only seen a couple seconds of each of these clips, so let's see how this goes.
Authenticity seems to be banned in Washington, D.C. But they want to control everything, even down to the way you protect yourself. That is why I stand firm on the Second Amendment. Look. Just since Thanksgiving alone, my office has received dozens of death threats. And it would be a shame to think that I would not have an equalizer against those threats. Just ask my new friend Kyle Rittenhouse, who's here this weekend. You have the right to self-defense. Even if you show up somewhere with a firearm, that right does not go away.
So, okay, Lauren Boebert is the opening act, and so here we go. Like, again, this is like, I want you to really understand the real world implications of a giant group of hundreds, if not of thousands of people. I don't know how far back this thing goes. And again, not to mention the people watching online. Groups of thousands, probably into the millions of people that think Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. They think that he's a hero. Like, I need you to understand how fucked up that is. Right? Now, again, let's look at the inverse scenario. With Michael Ryanel, who shot and killed a Trump supporter in Portland, Oregon last year. This was actually, I believe, before Kyle Rittenhouse's situation. So Michael Ryanel was in Portland, Oregon, and there was groups of Proud Boys, I believe. They were patrolling the neighborhoods and bear macing people out of windows. And so one of them approached Michael Ryanel, and Michael Ryanel shot and killed him and fled to Washington. In the Pacific Northwest, not DC. And so, again, now he claims that he did it in self-defense. Later, he said he did it in self-defense. He then did an interview, right? And then a couple days after doing an interview, he was hunted and executed by the U.S. Marshals. He was, again, I want to be very clear. He killed one person and then claimed self-defense. And for that, he was executed by the state. Now, the U.S. Marshals originally said that he pulled a gun on them, but every single witness, there were 3 witnesses, every single one said that never happened. He was shot before he even knew that people had guns pointed at him. Right? So again, he was executed for self-defense. Now again, we don't know if it was self-defense because there was very hazy footage of that whole interaction, right? You know, we didn't get a trial, so we don't know all the facts of that case. It very well could have not been self-defense. It's possible, right? Just as it's also possible that Kyle Rittenhouse very much so did not perform in self-defense, right? But again, so do you see giant parades of people like doing like Michael Ryanel parades or when he's dead, so you can't really make a one-to-one here. But again, like think about that. Think about the difference in the logic and the severity of what people will do when it's a left-wing person or a right-wing person.
Right. It's quite scary, actually, because the dreams feel so real, and they're not the same at all. They're all different. They're the different scenarios that run through your head during the day, like what could have happened. Like, I'm alive, but what could have happened? Like, what if I wasn't alive, or what if I didn't?
Rittenhouse is getting deep into quantum mechanics here. He's going in.
But Mr. Rosenbaum, oh my God, it's those type of dreams. The outcome of it's bad, but almost every outcome is either me getting seriously injured or hurt, or dead.
It's possible maybe that that's your bias. Like, you shot and killed them, and you're defending yourself saying it's self-defense every single day. Maybe you think every alternate scenario would result in your murder, because if you thought one of them wouldn't, then that would kind of blow up your whole self-defense thing, right? But no. It's every other possible, right? Every other possible universe in like the fucking many worlds theory of quantum mechanics would say, right, that Kyle Rittenhouse dies. This is the only universe where he doesn't die because facts and logic, right? It totally has nothing to do with bias.
Those are just the dreams I have on a daily basis.
This fucking bullshit, by the way, the music, like, oh my god. Oh no. Love you, Kyle. And then now, motherfuckers, we love you, Kyle. They love him? Like that? Alright. But again, like they're creating like a sob story. They're creating like a mythology. Again, this is mythologizing in real time. They're creating a mythology, an alternate history, one to be a patriot, that kind of bullshit. That's what they're doing. They're creating like the origin story, the backstory. Like, like not the first movie, but like, the fourth movie, right? The one that like the second and third movie are like they create a trilogy that goes forward in time. And then you've got the fourth movie where they go back in time. And that's Kyle Rittenhouse, the origin story. What happened? That's what they're creating. They're actively engaging in mythology, but it gets worse. Let's watch. So we've got some sort of music here, and again, we're getting some good camera pans of the audience here. Again, I don't even, think about the implications of this. Thousands of people, if not, tens of thousands or so, hundreds of thousands, I don't know, paid money to fly out here to, do this for Kyle Rittenhouse. So this is I can't even describe this scene. The only way I can think of describing it is, my God! Folks, remember when Kyle Rittenhouse went on Tucker Carlson's show and said he supports BLM and isn't racist? Remember that one? Yeah. Okay, so again, this is think of the implications of this. A right-winger brought a gun to defend property he didn't own or have any stake in, ended up killing 2 people in self-defense. Right, now again, I explained the contrast with the Michael Ryan case last year. But again, think about that precedent. You brought a gun for a very weird reason to a protest and then killed people. Why were you at that protest? Why did you bring a gun? Those are questions the right wing no longer cares about. I can bring a gun anywhere, right? Call someone like a fucking loser, say, hey, you're ugly, loser, and then they yell at me, and then I can shoot them because I'm acting in self-defense now. Think about that. Think about that. Protests are very unstable scenarios, right? There's a lot of things that can happen at a protest. It's very random, very high intensity. Anything can change at any time. I have a lot of protest experience personally, right? So I can tell you, things are very unstable. Right, when you bring a gun to things that are very unstable, and then you threaten to use that gun, right? And again, Kyle Rittenhouse was moving with vigilante squads. He wasn't acting alone. He was working with vigilante squads that were talking to the police. So again, all of that was deemed A-okay. All of that. He got no charges found guilty for any of those things. Bringing a gun, buying a gun illegally, defending property he didn't own or communicate with the owner or have any stake in, working with vigilante squads, working with police. No police were charged either, right? And all the while, he was 17, a stupid little fucking kid. And the right is cheering him because they think that the next time there's a big uprising in this country like we saw in 2020, if it ever happens again, I would, I personally would want that to happen again and more intense, but it's, hey, I'm just saying. But they're ready. They've got their precedent. They all are going to feel invincible. They can all kill anyone they want. As long as they bait someone into yelling at them first, it's open season.
This is the most famous TikToker in America. 4 doors, more whores. He's everywhere.
I don't even. What the fuck even is this? So anyway,
get loud.
I don't have the speech, but I'm not really interested in airing the speech here. I just like the reaction to him coming out. I don't really care what he has to say. If I see a clip of it and I find it funny, I'll cover it. But again, the implications of this are pretty horrifying. Anyone can bring a gun anywhere and bait someone into yelling at them, and then boom, self-defense. The gun can be illegal. All right. The whole reason you're there could be very, weird and strange, and You can say a couple weeks beforehand that you want to kill people. Whatever. All that matters is you go somewhere, you bait someone into yelling at you, and boom. Open season, license to kill anyone you want. And the right is taking notes. These motherfuckers are taking notes. Are you taking notes? Are you figuring out like what they're going to try next? Because if not, again, they are going to always try to push the barriers here, push the boundaries. So, I don't know, be careful. Shit's fucked up. Shit is fucked up. I'm delving into the bookmarks, folks. I'm delving in. Alright, let's talk about this. So during a different Turning Points event, Sarah Palin, who I believe needs no introduction, said some very interesting statements. Let's watch.
And it'll be over my dead body that I'll have to get a shot. I will not do it.
So, she is apparently a proud and loud, unvaccinated American. Now, again, folks, I just got my booster shot on Friday. I'm feeling pretty good. I was a little down in the dumps for a day or so, right? But, you know, by the time Monday came along, I'm good to go. I'm 100%. It doesn't hurt. You know, the side effects will last like 2 days, right? It's not that big of a deal compared to, again, 800,000 Americans are dead. That's more than the state of Wyoming. That might be more than the state of Alaska as well. Her state. More people than the entire population of Alaska have died. In fact, I'm going to look that up real quick. My gut says that that's true. Yeah, Alaska population 731,000. So more people have died of this virus than the entirety of Alaskans' population. And she just doesn't believe in it. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. And she is saying this, right, because people will listen to her and that will enforce their anti-vax garbage. All I can say is I hope she gets it. And I hope she goes away. But let's see what else she has to say for now.
I won't do it, and they better not touch my kids either, because that's where the...
Well, Governor, some people say, though, I might lose my job. I might get kicked out of school.
Yeah, I know. And, you know, I think if enough of us, though, rise up and say, no, enough is enough.
Rise up. They're rising up. Well, I hope you get into those crowded TPUSA events without masks on, and I hope you go away really soon. That's all I can say. I don't know what else I can say.
There are more of us than there are of them. So for us to be hesitant and for us to kind of wait...
Has anyone ever noticed that, like, Charlie Kirk's got, like, the smallest face in history? Like... like, I mean, look at this, though. Like, this looks like a drawing. Like, this is, like... a bad drawing. Like, I just, wow.
Be hesitant, and for us to kind of wait for somebody else to take this on and, you know, stand up and say, you know, no, enough is enough. You need to all look around and realize that...
I love how the camera is on Charlie here while Sarah Palin's talking. Can we, like, why is that? That's weird. Like, this is like, we're all watching, like, Charlie going, like, put the camera on the person who's speaking, please.
You stiffen your spine and, you know, take those positions that you know are right, especially when it comes to government telling us what we have to inject.
So she's like fucking blabbing about. Anyway, so she's a fucking moron. If you listen to her, you're a fucking moron. Get the goddamn vaccine. Fucking be a normal person. Take a shower. Brush your teeth. It's not that fucking hard. Jesus goddamn Christ. And again, Like, this is like the 2008 vice presidential candidate. This was almost like the second most powerful person in the world at one point in time. Like, there's like an alternate universe where Sarah Palin like pressed the nuke button or something. Right? Think about this, man. Like, this is crazy shit. Right? Like, this isn't just like random motherfuckers on Facebook. This isn't just your like weird like cousin who's like into conspiracy theories and like, you know, hates black people. Like, this is like a real thing that lots of fucking like mainstream people are advocating for and promoting. And again, it's going to kill a lot more people. We're going to get to 1 million deaths. And do you think Joe Biden's going to do anything about this? Do you think the Democrats are going to do anything about this? They're going to let this fucking shit go out of control. I mean, even Trump even said he got his booster. And when people booed him, he yelled at them. He got booed by his own supporters and then yelled at them for being idiots. So even Trump is pro-booster shot, pro-vaccination, right? So again, is Sarah Palin angling for a 2024 run? That's what it looks like. But the only question is, can she make it to 2024? Maybe Charlie Kirk can answer that question. Look at him, he's looking. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this guy. He looks like a fucking cartoon character. Like, what is this hair, by the way? Like, it's like a sickle, kind of. Like, what is that? Like, okay, so it goes like that, and then it goes up, and then it floofs down. Like, this is definitely like a cartoon character. Like, there is a lot going on. But anyway, that's Charlie Kirk. Gosh darn, folks. Gosh darn. Gosh darn, gosh darn. I think that's the show. I'm not sure. I'm going to check Google News. I'm looking at Google News, folks. I'm looking. I don't know. Do I want to praise Biden today? Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Ooh. All right, folks, whatever. Thank you all for watching today's show. Did I see Matt Strackbone's epic Xmas tweet? What, the Peanuts one? Yes, I did. One of my teammates is an oceanographer, lives in Alaska, and he says a lot of people moved up there so they could be free from the law. A lot of dysfunctional right-winger types. That makes a lot of sense. Anyway, folks, thank you all for watching. I appreciate the viewership. I'm gonna do this thing. So, okay. If you want to give me money, it's an option. I know no one usually thinks of it as an option, but it is an option. It is a thing that does exist. So if you want to do that, consider it. I just posted the links in the chat room. You can consider it. That doesn't mean you have to do it, but you can consider it. It is an option for you to consider, and so maybe you could consider doing so. Again, I will be streaming all throughout the holidays. I will be streaming every single day, the entirety of the rest of the year. And again, this weekend, I will be performing my annual video game stream called The War on Christmas, where I play the Grinch on the Sony PlayStation. And the end of that game is where you murder Santa Claus. You kill him. You murder him in video game form. And so, if you want to watch that, that will be on this weekend. So that will be happening. But again, if you want to give me some cash, some money, again, this is all I've got. This is my money. And also Steve Mnuchin wrote all over it. Look at this. Like, Steve Mnuchin wrote in print on my money? Like, who the fuck does that? So, it's basically worthless because Steven Mnuchin wrote on it. So this is all I got. This is all my money. And so if you want to give me more money, that's an option. So I'm just like saying that you should consider that option. And if you don't want to consider that option, that's fine. And that's all I've got. So I'm going to go ahead and put my money back because I don't want to lose that. That's all I got. And that's the show. Thank you all for watching. I think I already said that. We got Max the dog here. Does anyone want to Max the dog? Max, Max, Max. He is sleeping and he's in petting distance. Check this out. Look at that. That's crazy. Look at this fucking dog, man. Holy shit.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Across this country, we've seen this new candidate sporting events and on science. The phrase is "Let's go Brandon." The phrase is "Let's go Brandon." Across this country, we've seen this new phenomenon. Phrase is "Let's go phenomenon." Across this country, we've seen this new phenomenon. We've seen this new phenomenon. Phrase is "Let's go Brandon." Let's go Brandon. Let's go across this. Let's go Brandon. Across this country, let's go Brandon. A sort of code for a profane slogan.
I gotta go. I gotta. Number one. Number two. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.